With one hand on the Bible and a short simple oath, history is made twice. The oldest sitting president and the very first female VP of color take office. But what does this mean for America? And what has Biden been doing for his very first few days in office? And what will he do in the future? Hello, welcome to Season 2 of the Quaker Quill Weekly Wrap, your connection to the campus. A new quarter brings a new season of Quaker Quill Weekly Wrap, with more pieces, more presenters, and more of everything. So, today we have a few pieces from our excellent writers, so let's go and get right into it. First things first, there's a new sitting president, and so far he's made a few bold moves, as I explained inside the piece I did. Half the country in fanfare, while the other half ranging from content to absolute dismay. But whether you like it or not, it's Joe time. And he's ready to make sweeping changes.
President Biden's first weekend at the White House.
President Biden continues his mass issuing of executive orders.
In the last hour, the Biden administration announcing 2 new executive orders.
With a strike of a pen, Biden signs a flurry of 30 executive orders in only his first few days as president. But what are these executive orders for?
And he's been cracking on, trying to dismantle Donald Trump's legacy as quickly as possible.
Well, most of these executive orders are meant to handle the coronavirus pandemic, but also to undo Trump's actions. As of writing, 10 executive orders are directly aimed at reversing Trump administration policies. Some important executive orders aimed at the reversal of Trump's policies include ones that target immigration reform, such as halting the construction of a border wall by terminating the national security emergency that funded it, in addition to ending Trump's Muslim ban and canceling increased border security. More domestic changes come in an order that requires non-citizens to be included in the census and the appointment of congressional representatives, as well as a minimum wage reform. Focusing on the environment, he orders that the Keystone XL pipeline is canceled and directs agencies to review and reverse more than 100 Trump actions on the environment. But trumping all, no pun intended, is Biden's campaign promise of bringing America back into the world stage. This includes rejoining the Paris Climate Accord through the next 30 days and the cancellation of the U.S. withdrawal from the World Health Organization, in addition to making Dr. Anthony Fauci the head of delegation to the WHO. What does this all mean? First off, Biden is setting a precedent for how he will be handling domestic affairs and his objection to Trump administration policies. But most of all, he's trying to bring the U.S. back onto the world stage. This is a complete contradiction to the previous administration's America First policies. So, for the next 4 years, we can expect to see an administration that's more keen on globalism. Only time will tell, but for now, we'll probably see Biden trying to push this agenda since his party controls both sides of Congress. So, yes, it is Joe time, and he's ready to put on a show. Carson Freeman, Quaker Quill Weekly Wrap, Baltimore. Remember to subscribe to the Quaker Quill Weekly Wrap and turn on bell notifications so that way you know whenever we upload a new episode. Now, we have a new segment called Arturo's Film Review, hosted by Arturo, our entertainment correspondent. Arturo?
Hey everyone, today in Arturo's Film Review we'll be reviewing the movie Tenet. Written and directed by Christopher Nolan, Tenet is a 2020 movie about a secret agent teaming up with an unknown organization to save the world. Now, it sounds pretty interesting, right? Well, in my opinion, it's a pretty weak Christopher Nolan movie. Compared to Interstellar and Inception, Christopher Nolan's previous works, Tenet just felt unfinished. The script felt incomplete and all over the place, and the characters had some of the most exposition dumps I'd seen in any movie. It felt as though the movie was trying to be overly complicated just to compete with Christopher Nolan's previous works, again like Inception and Interstellar. The issue is that in trying to make it overly complicated, the script just ignored the characters. Every actor did the best that they could with what they were given, but it only goes so far. I mean, the most notable actors were the main character, played by John David Washington, and the villain, played by Kenneth Branagh. The film also had several technical issues, primarily with how poorly the sound was mixed, and I mean, although it is a pretty weak Christopher Nolan movie, it's not a bad movie. I mean, the concept is fun and entertaining, and Christopher Nolan does do the best he can. It just falls apart in the writing and the execution of certain elements. All in all, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Things are trying to get a little spicy inside the sports world, but how do we discern it all? Well, good thing we have Henry Greller to do it for us since I have a sports segment.
Thanks, Carson. Now that the Ravens season is over, let's talk a little bit about the NFL draft. And as we're deep into the NFL playoffs, many NFL pundits are starting to create their first mock drafts. Should the Ravens take an offensive lineman, wide receiver, pass rusher, or even another position at the 27th pick? In his first NFL mock draft, NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah has the Ravens selecting pass rusher Azeez Ojulari out of University of Georgia. And while it's only January and there's a lot of time before the draft in April, I think this is a very good first mock selection. With free agents like Matt Judon and Yannick Ngakoue, the Ravens need a guy who can get after the quarterback. Additionally, there's been a lot of changes on the Ravens coaching staff. First, 3 defensive coaches left to become defensive coordinators elsewhere, and now the Ravens are hiring to fill these positions. First, they hired Anthony Weaver, who is a former Ravens player, to become the defensive line coach, and second, they hired Rob Ryan, brother of former defensive coordinator Rex Ryan, to become the middle linebacker coach. And I really like these hires because these two coaches will help the Ravens to thrive in the coming years. And next, the Ravens are expecting offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator Greg Roman and Wink Martindale, respectively, to return to their positions in the 2021 season. Many people didn't see Greg Roman staying after some questionable play calling throughout the entire season, and especially in the playoff game. And many people didn't see Martindale staying because he was expected to get head coaching job offers from other teams. In fact, he didn't. That's it for Ravens news. Back to you, Carson.
Want to know more about your choices for college?
I can help with that. Hi, I'm Cori Strand, and I'll be hosting a new segment on the Quaker Quill Weekly Wrap called the College Spotlight, where I'll answer your questions about the college process and highlight different colleges each week, with the help of Miss Montreselli and Mr. Tiggle. Leave a comment or email me if you have any requests. Next week, we'll be covering test-optional colleges. See you then!
We hope that you've enjoyed today's program. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. And remember, the Quaker Quill Weekly Wrap is your connection to the campus.